Hey, everybody. Time is going to tell the tale of our new world, our new commission world, our new compensation world. Anyway, I wanted to jump on here quickly. I know it's this afternoon. I'm usually in the morning, but I needed to update everybody on what happened in July. We did the same number of daily sales that we did last year in July, and only two less than we did in 2022. Needless to say, the median price didn't impact those people that wanted to buy a home. And what's even more compelling for me with this information is that what's going to happen when the rates go down? Well, I have been listening to experts and Brian Nazim, and he keeps saying he delves deep into Jerome Powell's talks that he has, and he had one yesterday or the day before, and he pointed out that there is a chance. He didn't say good, he didn't say slight, he said there's a chance that rates may go down in September, and they may go down a quarter of a point or a half a point. What's going to happen to business when that happens? If we're selling this many homes now, and the price point hasn't altered the number of people who want to buy a home, what's going to happen when the interest rates go down and the payment gets lower? I think that you better get your database together. You better start planning, plan and database, and get yourself out there on social media. If people don't see you, they can't choose you. Let me put it like that. If people don't see you, they can't choose you. 65 to 85% of the people that choose a realtor are because they see them. The rest of them get referrals, and people are reaching out to them. But the other people, the 65 to 85%, if they don't see you, they're not going to choose you. So you've got to get on the bandwagon and get your database together. Send out those emails. Send the market stats out. Explain what this means. Send a sheet out and say, now let me explain it to you. And then do your job of explaining it. And let people know that we have a vibrant, dynamic market here in Las Vegas. And when you do things that have quality and authenticity, people are going to listen. I just created a little report about social media. Social media traditionally prioritizes quantity, right? Like Gary Vee used to say, oh my gosh, post 5, 6, 7 times a day. Excuse me. Encouraging constant content creation is now. That's the now. It's constant, consistent, but quality and authentic content. And that's what you have to create. A shift towards quality is definitely emerging. Despite the ongoing emphasis on frequent postings that I just talked about, we're witnessing a move towards content that sounds the test of time, that's going to take the test of time. Because like TikTok, let me give you an example. TikTok is experimenting with allowing videos up to 15 minutes. All right, so you have to have 15 minutes worth of authentic content that you've created that's interesting. And that's going to provide these creators with opportunity to explore their topics more thoroughly. Instagram is testing extended duration for Reels, aiming for more captivating content. LinkedIn has modified its algorithm to prioritize evergreen content, which remains relevant and it can attract new viewers over time. So this trend mirrors YouTube's established practice, where quality expectations are naturally higher due to the platform's focus on long-form content. Here, viewers expect a worthwhile investment of their time, suggesting a potential industry-wide acknowledgement of the value of quality content. So these platform changes suggest a significant strategy shift for you. Reminiscent of YouTube's emphasis on long form, it indicates a move away from mere content quantity towards the impact of longevity of what is posted. For the longest time, the social media mentors that I follow would say, you have to be in front of people all the time, so they think of you. Well, now here's what the shift that's made. There's so many of us, so many of you realtors that are in front of people, that if you need to stand out now. It's not just being there seeing you, it's being there seeing you with authentic content. And something that they want to listen to. So it's a new era in social media. And how might this evolution influence your approach to content creation? So I've been doing the market stats for a long time, and I don't do all the things that might push me out in front of people. I just want organic people. I want people to find me, follow me, and I'm happy with whatever following I have. But you make your living. You make your living in commissions, and you don't get a commission if you don't sell a property to a buyer or you sell your listing. So you need to start telling stories. Storytelling is fabulous. And I know you all have stories. Is there ever a transaction that's easy peasy? Not anymore, especially, and I've been preaching this for years, especially with the inspection. The inspection always creates, we're all like on the edge. What's going to happen? What are they going to find? What's the buyer going to do? Is the seller going to fix things? All these new questions come up. So anyway, there's lots of information that you can certainly share with your clientele, and you need to do that. I got away from Instagram a long time ago when I was hacked after I had built up 10,000 followers over years of consistent, authentic, interesting content. And when I got hacked, I thought, I'm not doing this again. So I delved deep into YouTube. I delved deep into Facebook. And I've always kind of been on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is becoming very much more popular than people think. That's another story, though, for another day. Let me just tell you a couple things about what's going on in the beautiful world of social media. So when you talk about the trade secrets in terms of what's moving the needle in your own business, let's talk about a lot of ground to cover now. There's a lot of news. So let's jump right into the news and updates that are affecting your marketing mix. So as always, there's a lot happening in the world of marketing. And I've got your news and updates beginning with a scam that's happening for Google business profiles. Now, I'm going to be teaching that tomorrow, so I'm going to be bringing this up again. Search engine land, the land of searching, puts this article out that says the Google Maps pin scan, a new Google business profile threat. So that's what's happening, is probably haters of businesses or competitors of businesses, which is fraud, is all messed up. But be on the lookout for people who might try to do this. And let me explain it to you. So what they're doing is they're looking up a business, and then Google's whole system allows you to suggest, would you like to edit this page? Now, I don't know why they do that, because I've thought about this for a long time. And Kate and I have been teaching, how you create a business profile. And it always was curious to me that anybody could edit your page. I don't think that's right. And I don't know why they let that happen. I'm sure there must be a reason somewhere in the foggy land of Google. So they suggest an edit, and they add, and you can edit the map location, which is terrible. If I have a restaurant, great Italian restaurant, and I want people to find me, and I'm paying to pay-per-click on Google Ads or wherever, and all of a sudden it comes up and it's not my location. It's the Italian restaurant down the street that needs more business. Wow. Can you think of that? So now they're going to go to that location, not your location. Think about that. That's terrible. And so they're moving that pinned map location somewhere else on the map, like I just said, so they can sabotage the location authority of that respective business in that set area. How bad does it get here? This is terrible. This is all about SEO, and it's about being found in that local proximity when people look for a business like yours. So heads up and be on the lookout for this. You might want to be checking your profile to make sure that your address is correct and there's no other information there that's been messed up, so that they don't sabotage you. So make sure that your location, that's the number one thing, because that's the easiest thing for them to move. So you can go in and edit button yourself, or you can get your fan club to kind of rally and come in and all suggest that the edit to be put back where it goes and reinforce your location authority. So be on the lookout. it's been happening in the world of Google business profile drama. So let's move on to something else. There's been some systematic changes with Instagram. And like I said earlier, I haven't been on Instagram. I think John and I have a real estate page on it. And occasionally, I think some of my things get on there because Facebook puts them on there. But anyway, there's probably a dozen or more changes. But one that caught my eye, there was an article that was published by a Social Media Today company. And it said, Instagram tests making the messaging icon the main focus. So we're all trying to beat that algorithm, right? So people find us, people see us, we're in front of people. Well, so you look down here at the little message on your Instagram screen, and they've replaced the plus icon where one would actually hit the plus to share new content. They'd be posting something. Well, now it's the messaging icon, which is what you generally see underneath the post if you want to share it with a friend. And I'm sharing this with you, not because it's going to happen per se, but they're clearly testing this. And so I don't know if everybody can see it, because sometimes when they do things and test things, they don't put the particular change on everybody's page. So you may see it in your feed and you may not. We may never one day see it be published across the app, but they're testing it. And the reason I'm bringing it up today is because it reinforces Instagram's point of view, how important messaging and DMs are on their platform. So this is the stickiness, the secret sauce of Instagram. Because if you look at competing platforms like TikTok, and I talk about this pretty often, TikTok does not have the same thriving social network happening in the messaging functionality of that platform like Instagram does. So that sets them apart. The competitive advantage of Instagram is in its direct messages. I can remember when Gary Vaynerchuk would say, you need to, it costs you a penny to direct message somebody, and you should direct message everybody that comments, or people that go and find people that and direct message them. He always thought that was a good idea. So the CEO of Instagram, who is, Masari, I think it is. So he said that the number one metric that determines the reach of your next post is what's called sends per reach. Sends per reach. Well, we talked about that before. So how many people, if 1,000 people see your next post, a reel, a carousel, whatever it is, if 1,000 people see it, how many of those thousands send it to somebody else through the DMs by hitting that paper airplane icon, the messaging icon now? Well, that's what they're looking at most, because that's their stickiness. That's their different from TikTok. So the social network is inside of the DMs. And what's interesting here is almost as if this test would say to the user, if I was going to infer to the user that Instagram is more interested in me using their platform for messaging than it is for actually contributing content in the feeds. What? Wow. What do you think about that? And maybe it will take care of itself. I don't know. It's confusing. And one last bit of juicy marketing gossip before we go, before I go into my next topic is, comes courtesy of Google, and they're back on their word where they said they were going to phase out cookies in order to protect the privacy of users on their internet. Well, now guess what? We're not going to go into a lot of details, but cookies are the way in which web browsers keep track of what you're doing on websites. What pages do you visit? How long do you stay on those pages? What buttons do you click? What forms do you complete? So from an advertising standpoint, advertisers can keep track of, hey, are people actually fulfilling my advertisement objective or not? And of course, the cookies allowed the analytical people to provide you analytics. And so now cookies have been the way we've done that, but cookies pose some level of privacy violation or concerns in terms of users of the internet. And so companies like Apple and Google have taken a stance to say, we're going to actually find a new way to do the internet without cookies, but they haven't figured it out yet. Not really. And so they basically went back on their word and said, we don't know how to do this yet. So we're going back to cookies. So there was an article in the Marketing Dive, and it said, just like Google won't be deprecating cookies, what now? And so basically, if you read the article, here's a current game plan. So I'm going to read this. So they don't have a solution to replace cookies yet. This is in the article. And so what they're going to do is inside of Chrome, they're going to start giving users the option to allow or disallow cookies more readily. I don't know what more readily means, but I don't like it. And so if you're already seeing that on a lot of websites, allowing cookies or not allowing cookies, or necessarily cookies only, but it seems like this is going to be a challenge that we need to keep our eyes on in terms of your ability to monitor the performance of your ad campaigns, for instance, and the traffic on your website. And so there's no real solution here. There is more of a heads up that Google's not really going to have a substitute for replacing cookies. That's what the marketing dive thinks. And so they're going to give users more flexibility and freedom in saying, I don't want cookies. And so this could start to tinker and lessen your ability to keep eyes on what's working for your campaigns again. So I'm curious what you think about that, and let me know in the comments if you have a thought about it. But that's it for the world of social media. Let's talk about real estate again. You know, I've read and reread the new forms on Transaction Desk, whatever platform you're using. And I personally think there's some conflict there. I don't know how you feel, but I feel there's some conflict there. In one spot, I'm not supposed to discuss compensation, and the seller's not supposed to pay me. And then all of a sudden, in the offer that my buyer presents to the seller, it allows the seller to pay me. I think that we're going to see how this all plays out, but I really see that as a conflict. We shall see. I don't have much to say about it because I know time will tell. Time always tells all. The other thing that I want to talk about here for just a minute, let me bring this up here. I showed this a couple weeks ago, I think, about the $1 Million Facts. And then there were 933 available. Now there's 947 available $1 Million plus homes in Las Vegas. But I'm sure that the numbers, even though there's a few more, the spread of the numbers haven't changed that much. And I'm just going to quickly go through here. We got down to 34 million. Between 19 and 34 million, there was 10. And then on this page, between 10 and the 34 million, we had, let's see, 10, 20, 30, about 40 properties that were over 10 million. So here's my thoughts on this. Let me make sure. Yeah, that was the 10. Okay. And then there was, excuse me. Then I broke down then between the 19 and the 34. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. That's how it breaks down. But if you're the selling agent and you're getting a commission, and I think I have to be careful. I don't think I'm allowed to talk. I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about anymore. but the point I'm trying to make is, you know, if I'm selling a $450,000 home, and I have a buyer, and I'm telling him the pillars of my business, what I'm going to do for him, and then I ask him to pay me, unless the seller will compensate me through making the offer. We can always do that in the offer, and the buyer can make up the difference. So let's say that, okay, theoretically, hypothetically, whatever. Let's say the commission's $12,000. Well, okay, I'm the buyer, and I'm thinking, well, this person's going to find me a home. This person's going to make sure that they negotiate the best price for me based on the market analysis, based on the condition of the home, based on the age of the home, whatever the factors are that the buyer's agent is going to educate me about, because I'm the buyer now. I'm talking to myself, and I'm thinking, okay, so I'm going to get the best price for the home that I want, and then he's gonna my buyer's agent's probably going to help me make a decision about what might be the best loan program to use, because I'm going to go and visit some lenders. So now I visited some lenders, and now we talk about that, and he gleans me with some of his knowledge. My buyer's agent gleans me with some of his knowledge about maybe which way I might go, because I might want to refinance if the rates go down. So, and things like that. So then then what do we have to do? Well, we have to get through that. The appraisal process is in motion, and I'm getting an inspection, and I'm looking at the SRPD, and my buyer's agent is going to help me decide, things that are on that SRPD, things that are on that inspection, and what we're going to ask the seller to participate with. Now, think about this. I'm the buyer, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, I don't want to pay for all these repairs because I'm already paying $12,000 out of my pocket somewhere to my agent. So I'm going to ask the seller to pay for all the repairs. And now it comes into play my agent and how well he can negotiate that. Because, oh, by the way, he's asked the seller to pay his commission, and now we're asking the seller to pay for these repairs, and somewhere in there, I'm going to end up paying for half of everything. Let's say that might be a reasonable conclusion to my little scenario. But in the end of the day, let's say that my sister, I'm the buyer, and my sister, she's got more money than me, and she's going to go buy $1 million home, or a $2 million home, or a $3 million home. Is she worth more than me, than my agent? Is her agent worth more than my agent? Because we're going to do the same things. Except she's got cash. She doesn't even have to go through the loan process. So I'm thinking for you all that these questions are going to come up. And the people the agents that are out there, selling these more expensive homes, and we're doing 5 expensive homes a day, $1 million plus. I didn't even get into the $800,000 homes, which, that commission's a lot larger than $12,000 normally. So anyway, I just see that there's some bumps in the road ahead, and time will tell. There's some potential that all these new, these people that have been waiting on the sidelines, mostly first-time home buyers, when the rates go down, they want to buy a home. I wonder if the prices are going to soften a little bit, and we're going to have more buyers. And what's going to happen to the $800,000-$900,000 buyers, $1 million buyers? Are they going to pay more money? I don't know. I'm trying to be careful how I word everything, because I don't know. I don't know personally if I can, and I don't do this anymore for a living. And if you all are out there in that 700,000-800,000 plus market, and you're looking there to what are you going to ask the buyer for 1% and the seller for 1%? I mean, I think that there's got to be some strategy going on, and I know we say we have to kiss a few frogs before we find the prince. So you might have to kiss a few frogs before you find where your level playing field is. But I think that, for the medium price buyer, let me say not normal, but for the medium price buyer, I think that it's I personally, and of course, again, I'm just conjecturing here because time is going to tell. I think I could convince the buyer that I'm worth, $12,000, $15,000 to help him purchase his dream home and determine all the things that have to go along. I call them the 8 pillars I think if you break it down to 8 things that you do and how you elaborate on each one, that somebody would say, okay. and then you say, well, you agree that you're going to pay me this percentage, and I'm going to ask the seller to pay for it as well. And if the seller pays for it, then you don't have to pay for it, and whatever. But I think that there's a possibility that in the median price range, we got a shot. But man, you get up into even 500,000, 600. Boy, you get higher than that, and you're thinking percentage versus perhaps a flat fee of some kind. I don't know where we're headed, everybody, but and I know we say, my gosh, we got through the COVID thing, and we got through, so many different changes, and the interest rates going down and the interest rates going up. But you know what? This affects people differently, I think. Oops. This really affects everybody a little differently than the other changes we've had in our industry. That's my thoughts. And I could be wrong, but we shall see. Time will tell. I wish everybody all the success in the world. I want to tell you that Jimmy and I, get this up here, we are going to be providing a free accredited buyer representative class September 9th and 10th. And we're going to possibly have a guest speaker that's known in the industry. Still trying to negotiate that to help us travel through the buyer representation world that we're headed into. Our class is free. You can go to bee.vegas and sign up. I will be sending out some emails for you to sign up as well. But if you go to bee.vegas, you will see, scroll down, you'll see the accredited buyers representation sign up. And I think that I know everybody's been offering it, and we're offering it too. Jimmy teaches it excellently, if that's a way to put it. He's such an erudite. He's a wonderful presenter. We'll be providing lunch and a lot of conversation, and we chose to do it later instead of earlier because we wanted to be into the aftermath of the beginning of the commission changes. So we'll have more answers for people who will have more questions. So anyway, I hope you all will attend. I guess I should have probably put let me see. Oh, please. Let me go find it. I should have put it up here. Okay, yeah, it's right there. Okay, let me see. Nope. Yeah, I don't have the specific link, but I'll put it everywhere in the next day or two. So I think that having this later is good. I think before was good too, but I think because so many people were doing it before, we thought, okay, let's do it later, and we'll have more meat. Where's the meat? We'll have more meat. I love you all. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you soon again. I love you all, and I'll keep putting things, information for you to use so that you can be on social media more. If people don't see you, they can't choose you. Remember that. And done is always better than perfect.